Hello, my name is Abby, and I am a huge diabulimia advocate and awareness spreader. I'm also in recovery from that, and I am also a mom. So I thought I would come on here and first tell y'all my birth story while I was a diabulimia recovery, because it was a whirlwind. So let's just start from the beginning. I learned I was pregnant about 3 days before my 24th birthday. And I actually did one of the clear blue tests, and it came back pregnant. And every other test I took after that for like a week came back not pregnant. But something in me was telling me that I was pregnant. So I went to probably 3 or 4 different urgent cares and got lab tests done and stuff like that. And my HCG came back as a 9. So I was very, very early pregnant. But the people at the urgent care told me that I was not pregnant, even though my HCG was 9, and I definitely knew I was pregnant. But then about 3 weeks after that, I took another test, and it came back positive each time. So, yeah, I was definitely pregnant, and I was super excited. I told my husband. We were both excited, but I was also super nervous because my diabetes is not the best controlled, not controlled very well. And the whole diabulimia recovery thing was still going on. So I was very nervous, but I was really determined to not let it get in the way of me having a baby. So the first probably 10 weeks was smooth sailing. I had gone to see a doctor. Everything was going well. I was eating well. My sugars were normal. It was going great. But then I developed what was called hyperemesis, which means I would throw up all day long. My morning sickness lasted all day for my entire pregnancy. And so that was causing me to go into DKA multiple times. So I would start throwing up, not be able to eat, and then I would go into starvation, ketosis. And I was in the hospital probably every week of my pregnancy until finally they said, hey, we're going to send you to University of Chicago, because I live near the city, and send you to a endocrinologist, a diabetes doctor who specializes in pregnant women. And I went there, and she was absolutely wonderful. She was so smart. She knew what she was doing. And I started going there, and I progressively got more sick as my pregnancy went on. So basically around month 6 or 7, I was pretty much hospital bound until I gave birth. So I was probably in the hospital most of my pregnancy. The last half of my pregnancy, I was at U of C. And let's just say I absolutely hated it. I don't like being in the hospital. I don't like not being able to go outside or go do what I want. But it was for my baby, so I got through it. Jesus Christ. That was my washer. But I was in USC, and then they said that the plan was to take Levi out at 34 weeks, which I was very nervous about because that means he would be a preemie, and he would have to be in the NICU for 2-3 weeks. And I was very scared because I wanted him to be as developed as possible. But I was also so sick and frail that they didn't think I could last the whole 40 weeks. So they gave me a choice between a C-section and induction. And since I was already so sick and and I didn't want to put more strain on my body, I opted for the C-section. And so March 7th, I hit 34 weeks, and I had a C-section planned for that day. So Colton was there. We had the C-section, and it actually went very, very smooth. The epidural was super easygoing. I thought it was going to hurt real bad, but I didn't even feel it. He came out. He was beautiful. He started crying. I started crying. He was very small, very tiny. He was 4 pounds, 11 ounces. I can't quite remember how long he was, and I know that's like bad of me as a mom, but he was just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I had never been like loved something that way in my whole life. Like, you don't really know until you have your own kid, but it's like I would like somebody for this baby. So at 34 weeks, he came out, and he went to the NICU, and I got so much better after he was born. My A1C went back down to like a 7. He was alive and well, doing great. Levi was. Colton was happy. I was happy. I stayed at the Ronald McDonald House for like 3 weeks, right next to Lori Children's Hospital, because that's where he was, for 3 weeks. And they did tell us that he had an aortic valve, which both my father and Colton's uncle had. So it was like kind of like a genetic thing. But other than that, he's very healthy. And his oxygen kept dropping to like 80%. So he was in there longer than they expected, just because his oxygen was a little bit lower than they wanted it to. And they were going to send us home on oxygen for him. But like around the 3rd week that he was there, he was finally breathing pretty much on room air by himself. So we got to go home, and he is just the most perfect thing. And I absolutely love being a mom. The pregnancy was super, super, super hard. But I just want to put it out there. Don't let having diabetes or if you're struggling with like EDs or mental health, that you can't have a baby, because you definitely can. And it's going to be hard work, but it's totally worth it. And yeah, Levi is here now. I'm going to show you a picture. And he is the most beautiful baby, the happiest baby, and I love being a mom.